Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
A man found dead at an abandoned Lexington car wash is being investigated this morning as a homicide.
A man is robbed at gunpoint overnight. Police on the lookout for suspects.
And Mitch McConnell and Allison Grimes went head-to-head in the race's only televised debate last night. We'll have our coverage on the event coming up. Those stories and more and breaking news as it happens on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome. We're glad you're with us. A lot of rain coming down out there this morning. It's an issue. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Take it easy on the roads. A little dangerous out there with that rain coming down. And for the latest track on the weather, let's turn to meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Pretty active morning out there, guys. Rounds of showers, even some thunderstorms late last night. We're not getting in on any of the thunderstorm activity out there this morning. More of the moderate and heavy rainfall, which has now passed through Lexington. It's just out to our east, out for the folks across parts of Bourbon County into Harrison County as well, and also trying to cross over into Robertson and Nicholas counties as well. So you see that heavy round of rain sweeping through the area. Rain going to be the main concern for a lot of us through the day today as we have that flash flood watch that runs through later on toward the evening hours because we have the rounds of heavy stuff that will continue to fall throughout the entire area today. But out in eastern Kentucky, we might try to spark up more severe weather as the afternoon and evening kind of wears on, as that system will start to drive through there. It's been a very slow moving system, and it lost a lot of its oomph during the overnight hours. So now it's just mainly rain, but it might try to fire off again once we get toward the afternoon and evening for those folks out there. We'll track those chances, and we'll show you one of our most sophisticated weather models that we have to track it hour by hour coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Leading our news, Lexington police are investigating a man's death as a homicide after finding a body at an abandoned car wash last night.
The Fayette County coroner was called out to the Premier Car Wash at about 7:30 last night after fire crews found that man. Lexington police say the victim is a middle-aged white man, but the coroner has not yet released the identity of the victim or the nature of injuries. He says the investigation into the man's death is still in its early stages, but it is being investigated as a homicide.
We haven't been able to move him just in order for us to collect a lot of evidence. Our forensics team is here from the police department doing that right now. Once we're able to move him, hopefully I'll be able to see his wounds better to try to determine the exact cause of death.
And the man's autopsy is scheduled for sometime later today. We'll have a full report on this on WKYT News at 5 this morning. New this morning, Lexington police say a man was robbed at gunpoint overnight. It happened at about midnight on Laredo Drive. Police say a man was walking home when he was approached by two other men. They say one of those men pointed a gun in the victim's face. He stole cash and the man's cell phone. Police have a limited description of the suspects. No arrests have been made.
We're learning more this morning, but there's still some unknowns about the investigation into a hotel explosion. It happened at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Beaumont Center back on September 7th. In a newly released report, the Lexington Fire Department says it confirmed a car crashed into the hotel's gas meter before the explosion. But the report goes on to say firefighters couldn't narrow down what specifically sparked the explosion. A Southern Kentucky family is dealing with the loss of 3 family members following a weekend fire. Lisa and David Perkins and their 2-year-old granddaughter, Shaylin Crabtree, died in the fire on Sycamore Trail in McCreary County. Crabtree's parents say their little girl brought them a lot of joy, and they say it's hard to believe she's gone.
If I can get a message out to anybody out there, hold your babies tight and never let them out of your sight. That tomorrow is not ever guaranteed.
Investigators say the fire is accidental, possibly caused by an electrical problem. The family thinks a heater may be to blame.
A Lexington man accused of having sex with a young girl he met online went before a judge yesterday. Investigators say Brant Bertram traveled to Florida to have sex with a girl between 12 and 16 years old. According to an arrest warrant, Bertram met the girl while playing the online game World of Warcraft. Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky, Jill Seifried, says parents shouldn't be afraid to watch what their kids are doing on the computer.
They like their privacy and they don't want to feel like mom or dad are looking over their shoulder. But as the mom or dad, you need to let your kids know that you are looking over their shoulder.
Bertram's hearing is continued until October 24th. He's being held at the Fayette County Detention Center on a $200,000 bond. A Central Kentucky principal says she's fed up with vandals targeting her school. Stanford Elementary Principal Brandy Vaughn says vandals have broken swings, written vulgar words, and torn up padding on the playground. The damage seems to happen most often during the weekend. That playground is open to the community, and Hahn hopes people will help protect the space.
We're just trying to raise awareness so people can help us keep an eye out for it. We try to do the best we can, and hopefully with the community's help we can get this taken care of.
Well, police say they have increased patrols in the area to try and stop the vandals.
It was a showdown last night in Kentucky's race for the U.S. Senate. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell and Democratic challenger Allison Lundergan Grimes faced off in their first and likely only debate before next month's election. From jobs and the minimum wage to coal, the candidates covered a wide range of topics. WKYT's Jerica Ensko has more from the debate at KET.
It was the only televised debate in the Kentucky U.S. Senate race, and it's now over here at KET in Lexington. Crowds brought enthusiasm while two of the three candidates brought answers. Senator Mitch McConnell and Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes were welcomed with a big crowd. It was here at KET for a one-hour debate, the only one televised between the two. Supporters of both these candidates showed up. But everyone was focused on what was happening inside the studio, not outside, as the two went head-to-head.
I don't fault Senator McConnell for becoming a multimillionaire on the backs of hardworking Kentuckians.
Her family's made more money off the government in the last 10 years than I've been paid in a salary in all my time in the Senate.
Among the various topics discussed between Grimes and McConnell, raising the minimum wage and bringing more jobs to the Bluegrass state both stuck out.
The minimum wage increase that she advocates is going to cost us a lot of jobs for young people.
To enact a jobs plan. I'm the only candidate in this race with a jobs plan. That's how we put Kentucky back to work.
With it being one of the most closely watched Senate races, both candidates had a final push at the end, addressed straight to their voters.
Kentuckians know my record. It's a record of being an independent thinker, putting the partisanship aside and putting the people of this state first.
Called me the hardest working member of the United States Senate out of 100. We have a chance here to have the hardest working senator for another 6 years.
Senator, Secretary, thank you very much for being here tonight on Kentucky Tonight.
Now, after the debate, both advisors said their candidate was the strongest, but that'll be up to voters come Election Day on November 4th. In Lexington, Jerica Ensko, WKYT.
Now, last week, a Bluegrass poll showed Grimes with a 2-point lead. The previous Bluegrass poll done in August showed Senator McConnell with a 4-point lead. Allison Grimes has enlisted the help of Hillary Clinton for the campaign. Grimes has worked to distance herself from President Obama in her bid to win the Senate seat, calling herself a Clinton Democrat. Senator McConnell's campaign worked to link her to Obama. Clinton will host a rally for Grimes tomorrow afternoon at the Kentucky Convention Center in Louisville. Tickets to that rally are free, and they're available at the Kentucky Democratic Party offices.
If you're planning to watch Big Blue Madness from home this Friday, there's some big changes you need to know about. For the first time in 20 years, no local television station will air it live. ESPNU will do live what are called look-ins during its Midnight Madness show. If you want to watch Big Blue Madness in its entirety, you'll have to watch it on ESPN3, which is ESPN's online channel. We have all the information on where exactly you can see Big Blue Madness on WKYT.com. A woman wants to help some Eastern Kentucky firefighters, even though she lives hundreds of miles away from them. Rhonda Estep and Gregory Alley were in the Warfield Fire Department's main fire engine when they tried to cross a bridge in Martin County last month. The bridge collapsed, sending the truck into a creek. Kay Chapman of Goshen, Indiana, saw the story and set up a GoFundMe account for the department.
That kind of touches at your heartstrings, you know, that our pain helped her.
The Warfield Fire Department already had an online fundraiser set up. They're hoping to combine theirs with Chapman's so people can donate in one place.